Made on Zencaster.
Hey there, this is Jimmy from the Zeo Podcast, and we want to support all our partners. Here is Ben and his new podcast, Baker Rangers Movie Talks. Follow Ben and his guests as they review a movie of the week. If you want to see more from Billy, Ben, myself, or all our partners, please follow us at zeotoheropod across all platforms. And without further ado, here is Baker Rangers Movie Talks with Ben and all his technical problems.
Hi, and welcome to Baker Rangers. Welcome to Baker Rangers Movie Talks. This is a place where we can talk about movies, movies that we love, and have a good time. And I'm here, well, he's something. He's strange, and he is in the neighborhood. He is Billy. Yeah, that guy.
This guy.
Host of Zeo to Hero. I guess you could say he's the skull of Zeo to Hero.
Mm-hmm.
So, doing all right, Billy?
Oh, you know how it is. Hot and bothered, I guess, because I'm living in Texas.
Yeah, I'm sweating right now. I would have my air on, but I don't want it to interfere with this podcast.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anywho, we are talking about Ghostbusters. I was literally about to say Power Rangers, but I'm Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So, Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time. I love Ghostbusters. I love the whole franchise. All four movies, even the 2016 one that everybody seems to hate. But you've never really been big into Ghostbusters.
No, not really. I never really grew up watching them. But I'll tell you though, rewatching it still holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. But yeah, this is my favorite. I don't know why it's my favorite movie of all time. It just is. I loved it as a kid. I've always wanted to be a Ghostbuster. I wanted to collect all the toys, and I never got any of the toys until now, like literally 2020. The pandemic was going on. Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to come out in 2020. So all the toys started coming out. Hasbro had got some of the licenses for the toys, the Kenner stuff, and so I've been as an adult, not as a kid.
Hey, when you're an adult, you have all that money now. So like you can actually spend money on toy collection.
That's true.
Not as a kid, because as a kid you had to work, fit that into your parents' budget.
Which my parents' budget was nothing.
Same here.
So I think we did get, like, when I was a kid, I did get a lightsaber maybe once. I'm not quite sure. We had some toys and stuff, but not like all the kids had the proton packs for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had the Ecto 1, which I recently got because they recently released the older Ecto 1 Kenner, like redos. But I never got it.
Damn. Our mom and dad kind of plotted us. They would buy me and Jimmy some like little decorative swords and stuff, and be like, "Hey, can you go out in the back and swing those swords around and chop down the grass?" So that was us. But yeah, I saw that you were building an Ecto 1 too.
Oh yes. So through Hero, this is not a plug. I don't get paid for this, but through Hero Collector Eagle Moss, they have a subscription service where you basically put the Ecto 1 together. I've been working on it for about 2 years. I paused it here and there, and because of COVID and the whole shipping issues that, that's been going on the last few years.
And a lot of people are going to be asking, why 2 years? Well, in fact, they will ship you every month. I get, like, every month, right? They'll send you a new piece.
Yeah, you get four kits a week, and I think there's a total of like 140 something.
Okay,
I'm not quite sure. 130. Wow. Yeah, it's literally like if you do it every month straight with no breaks, I think it's like 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years.
Okay, see, people that are listening, that's why it takes 2 years to complete it.
But this is a 1/8 scale, and it is huge. It is heavy. You literally put this thing almost like you're building a car. Minus a few obvious things. It's not going to run. Like, it's not going to move on its own. But it's got lights and sounds. It's like, I just see the carcass of it right now because I'm working on I just now started the body, the last shipment, which was like a month ago. And the electronics, so it's got all these wires. Like, it looks like C-3PO from episode 1 right now.
Oh, right now.
It's a beauty.
For people that might not know scaling, so 1/8 is basically you take 8 of these things and it equals out to the length of 1 ecto.
Yeah, so you take eight of them long, and then 8 of them wide, and then 8 of them high. So technically, it would take like 64. No, wait. 64 times. I don't know how the math is, but it actually takes, like, even though it's 1/8 scale, it's not just get 8 of these and you get a full ecto 1. It still takes a lot. It's 8 one way, 8 one way, 8 in 3 dimensions.
Exactly.
But anywho, so Ghostbusters. So again, you're not gonna be as excited about stuff whenever I talk about it. But I love this movie. And you watched it, you said last night, or you told me you watched it last night. But you hadn't seen it in forever. So how was that, not seeing it since you were a kid? Because sometimes watching through the lens of a child and through the lens of an adult can be separate things. That's how it was with Batman Returns for me, my favorite movie when I was 5. And I saw it again when I was like 15, and I thought it was horrible. Sorry for the people that love Batman Returns. I know people love it, but it's like that. So what was kind of your reaction after seeing it for a while?
So when I was a kid, we watched it. But as a kid, you don't really completely grasp, like you just said, you don't really grasp it. Now that I rewatched it, I will just definitely say I love it. Even though it's an older movie, like I told you, it holds up. I love it. It's fun. Like, it's entertaining. I mean, it has ghosts, lasers. I mean, even a Mr. Jet Puff,
Stay Puffed.
Stay Puffed, that's right. There's a giant Stay Puff in it. Come on. Who doesn't want to fight a giant marshmallow?
Well, I mean, the movie could have been a lot different because if you kind of, when I rewatched it last night, I watched the commentary. I've got a book on the making of all 3, maybe the first 2. I haven't read all of it. But Dan Aykroyd had this idea, like, in really early 80s, like 80, 81, of doing a paranormal, because he's all into ghosts. He's, like, really into the paranormal stuff. Like, deep into the paranormal stuff. Like, he actually believes ghosts exist and all that kind of stuff. So it was going to be more of a multi-dimensional sci-fi where there's different dimensions, different time and space, and ghosts everywhere. And the Ghostbusters, or at first they were called the Ghost Smashers, there were already teams of Ghost Smashers around, and they were just fighting ghosts.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But when Ivan Reitman got to him, because he pitched it to him to do the movie, Ivan Reitman was like, well, this will cost, and just think this is like 1981 when he first pitched it. He said it's probably gonna cost about $300 million to make this movie, and so that's a lot of money.
That's
for now.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's a lot of 1980s money. Now that's not a lot.
Yeah, because that's like that'd be more ambitious than Star Wars,
and
all that kind of stuff. So he got him to talk with Harold Ramis. He said Harold Ramis might be able to help you kind of work the script with you to make it a little more manageable. But he loved the idea of buddies, just kind of, like a buddy comedy with the supernatural elements, but it was mostly the comedy that was in the relationships that he wanted to portray in the movie.
And I'll give them credit; they have a lot of funny one-liners. So,
they do with Bill Murray. Anything, especially older Bill Murray. I'm not as big of a fan of his newer stuff, but but 1980s, early 90s, Bill Murray.
Yes. I feel like it was a lot more crude because you can get away with a lot more. Now it's just censored or the fear of getting canceled.
Yeah. Well, if you think about this, like this movie was PG. If this exact movie was made now, it would probably be PG-13.
Oh.
Because I don't think PG-13 wasn't around till 1986.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, because and what was weird, what caused PG-13 rating to be created was Indiana Jones 2 when they were eating monkey brains.
Oh.
That's the scene that really messed with people to cause them to add another.
So the monkey brains is equivalent to Tom Brady's tuck rule.
Yes. Or the bush push.
Yes. Great analogies.
Yes. So one thing that kind of ruined it for everybody for some weird reason. So, or the fumble roosk.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know. I don't think you can do that anymore. But that's sports references. I don't know if anybody that's watching this if you love football. That was a bunch of football, college football, NFL talk. But anywho, yeah. So this came out before the PG-13, or else it would have gotten a PG-13, and it probably wouldn't have appealed as much to. It would have done the same appeal to kids, but it wouldn't have done the same appeal to parents taking their kids to see it. So let's kind of talk about the movie. We kind of start with the librarian kind of walking through the library. Weird things are happening. Books are moving. All of a sudden, the card catalog, which if you got kids watching this don't know what a card catalog is. You used to not have a computer database to look up where the book is. You had to look, and every book had a number, and that's how you looked up. But there was a wall of card catalogs that are just coming up and just spraying all over us.
Yeah.
And
what was the ghost that they found?
I think it was just another librarian, a ghost of a librarian.
Librarian ghost.
Yes.
Yeah. And what was it? They were not Ghostbusters. They were like amateurs in the beginning. They were just like friends with like basic tools to do it.
Yeah, well, a lot of it was stuff that they used from Columbia University because Peter Venkman, who's Bill Murray's character, he was a scientist there. I don't know what he was a scientist like. I don't know what he did besides shock therapy, but so they basically just borrowed stuff from the school. So whenever they got fired or he got fired, they essentially didn't have the access to his stuff anymore, so they had to go do it themselves.
What were the three main characters in the beginning? I know there was Peter, Igor, and then what was the other guy?
Igor. Yes, Mr. Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein. No, Igor is Frankenstein's assistant. Egon is the Ghostbuster.
My bad. My bad.
Egon,
Peter, and then there was a third guy.
And Ray.
His name either. Ray, okay. Ray. Oh, that's right, because he says Ray all the time.
Yeah, Ray was my favorite Ghostbuster. I had two older brothers. I wasn't born yet when the movie came out. But whenever I was younger, like 3, I had two. My little brother wasn't born yet till 90. So me and my two older brothers, we were basically played as the Ghostbusters. My oldest brother was Egon because the oldest brother has to be the smartest. My older brother was Peter because he thought he was cool, and I was Ray. So
all right.
Peter, Egon, and Ray, not Igor. Then I guess they could have Igor in later because I'm sure they could have like a Frankenstein thing. But
so like they find this thing, and I love the questions they're asking the librarian on that's kind of like on the table, just like random questions, and like they're like
how are Alice menstruating right now?
Yeah. Are you menstruating? And he's like, how is this relevant? He's like, I'm a doctor.
And he's like, back off, man. I'm a scientist.
I'm a scientist. But then they find it, and they find ectoplasm on the card files, the card catalogs, and they get a sample. They see this thing. It's what they call it, a full torso apparition.
Yeah, full
torso, and then they tried to speak to it.
They didn't have, and they didn't have any tools for anything, so like
Yes.
they didn't know how to trap one. They're just like,
Yeah,
there's a ghost. What are we gonna do? Like they went to go find a ghost. They found a ghost, but they didn't have a plan for.
yeah, they didn't have a plan to see the ghost. Yeah. Now the only thing I really recognized in that whole scene was the PKE meter.
Yes.
And that's the only thing I really recognize from the whole series in that scene.
Well, I think that's the only thing that they had made from whenever
they were at the university.
Well, technically he hadn't got fired yet at this point. It was after this that
he
got fired. But I guess they were able to make that. But at this point, yeah, they didn't know how to catch it. So Ray's smart idea was get her. They were just gonna run and try to grab a ghost like that was gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So she scared the crap out of them. They just ran off.
Right. But, and then when they get back to the university, they find out that they have lost all their
resources are gone.
Everything gone. So then they have to find somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which then becomes the iconic old firehouse that they find.
Yeah, Peter convinced Ray to do like I don't know how many mortgages on his parents' house, and that's what helped them to fund buying that old fire station.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. There was a scene in the movie.
Oh, must have looked away.
Remember when Egon was like, just in the first year alone, your interest payment comes to however many $1,000.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was a lot of money. Like he just rushed it. It was like, hey, let's just get the money. We'll make some lots of money, so you'll make your money back.
Yeah. Which they didn't think they were gonna make any money off of this. But that, I mean, when you find the protagonist female, she kind of sees in her apartment the TV's on and there's a commercial of them on there. So they were also paying on top of that commercial fees and they bought the firehouse. They got the commercial shot and filmed and all that kind of stuff. So they were out of a lot of money pretty darn quick. In fact, they didn't really have their first actual call until they ran out of money. They literally ran out of money getting Chinese food. Like, this is the last of the petty cash. Yeah. But then they get that girl. That girl's the first client, which then turns out to be like one of the main people in the movie.
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver is Dana Bryant, and she really wanted to be in this role because before this, she was like an alien. She was in like more serious stuff, so she wanted to do like a comedy. And what's kind of funny is in her audition for the movie, because she knew that Dana was gonna become Zool and turn to a dog. So her audition was kind of like her pretending to be a dog, and that won them over. Like she got on all fours on the table and started like acting like a dog, barking and everything. Dang. And she got the part. So
she fit it. She fit it very well.
Yeah,
yeah.
It what's interesting too with the casting is originally when Dan Aykroyd originally had the plan. Dan Aykroyd plays Ray. When he originally thought of the idea of Ghostbusters, it was Ghost Smashers at the time. It was going to be a vehicle for him and John Belushi. That's what it is, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy. So it was going to be the three of them. Like that's what it was going to be. And the Egon character was, I guess nobody really knows who that was originally supposed to be. But then John Belushi died, and so the first thing he thought of was go to Bill Murray and have Bill Murray do the part. And Bill Murray was interested, and then that's when they brought it to Ivan Reitman in Columbia to get the ball rolling on it. And so Ivan Reitman wanted Egon or Harold Ramis to be Egon because he can help him write it, but he would be perfect at that character. And he's worked with Harold Ramis and Bill Murray when they did Stripes. So they were both on that movie. That's
great movie,
hilarious, hilarious movie.
Yeah.
So, but then Eddie Murphy kind of turned it down. So that's when they kind of toned the Winston role down because they didn't have that big actor, and then they hired Ernie Hudson to be Winston, and they kind of did him dirty through the first two movies, especially in the marketing for both movies. Winston is not. I think in the second movie he was more involved in the marketing, but in the first movie, all the posters had just the three. No, Winston wasn't anywhere to be found.
Right.
So it wasn't until more recently they started, doing more good for his character with the marketing.
I felt like his role in the movie was just a helping character. Like he didn't really have a solidified role except for, hey, I'm just gonna get a couple shots of me driving the Ecto around, which I wish he would have had more.
Yeah, I wish he did too. He's a great character. He's a great actor, but it was a great character. But yeah, I think they kind of turned it into, well, let's just kind of turn him into like the everyman. Yeah. And so like he is us as the audience, so he's kind of like watching it as we're watching it. So he's kind of like that character of the movie.
He answered a job listing and got hired immediately as a dude just come off the street. So
yeah, he just needed a job.
And he got one.
Annie Potts played Janine Melnitz. Yeah, and
she was the receptionist.
Yeah,
perfect role.
and I think that's before she kind of got big, because that was before Designing Women, because that's something that's what got her big. So it was kind of one of her early movie roles. But yeah, it was like she was also supposed to have like. And you can kind of tell in there in the movie, but they didn't really showcase it because I think they abandoned the idea like through the shooting process. But her and Egon were going to have some sort of love story.
Yes, you can tell in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few scenes like you could tell that she was kind of interested.
Yeah, and okay, all right, I keep forgetting his name, but there's a character in the movie that's the neighbor of Dana, Lewis.
Yes.
The guy that got to play him, I cannot remember his name.
Rick Moranis.
Perfect. Like this dude is just off the wall nerdy and just like killed that part, Lewis.
Yeah, well, he kind of rewrote the part a little bit that way because they didn't know how they wanted that character to be, because they originally hired John Candy to be Lewis. Okay. But then John Candy was wanting to do something different. He's like, maybe I could do with a German accent and have two Rottweilers or stuff like that. So there's like, maybe, I don't know. We don't know. And eventually he just like, never mind. I don't want to do this part.
And then the character Lewis also has the best one-liner in the entire movie at the end. In my opinion, he has.
Is it the "Who does your taxes" part?
Yes.
Who does your taxes?
After the whole ordeal,
just worried about his taxes. Well, that first shot. Well, not the first time you see him, but whenever he gets kind of taken over from the
Keymaster.
The Keymaster, the dog. I forgot Vince Clortho. He's having a party for clients, and it's a huge one shot too. Like it's really kind of like it just shows how good he is in that character. It was just all one take until he gets taken or the dog comes out. But he's talking about how, because he's an accountant. He's like, I bought all this this food from Nova Scotia and all this, and it's like that's why I invited clients instead of friends, so I can write it off as a business expense.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, this is Nova Scotian fish. I got it for a discount.
Yeah. I got acetylsalicylic acid. It's generic, but it's better.
Yeah. I get 600 of these for the price of 300 of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dude killed it. I love Rick Moranis.
Oh, I know.
And every role he's ever had, but yes.
And he's coming back as because Disney Plus is going to do a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids show, and he's going to be in it.
No, that's cool.
It's going to be like his first actual role since retiring.
Yes.
So not counting the Mint Mobile commercial.
Oh, so now we're talking about, now that we do mention Lewis, and then he's the neighbor of Dana. So the building that they live in is actually the main center of where like this portal opens up. And there's 2 dogs, like you said, on the top that are statues that come to life. And one is the Keymaster and one is
The Gatekeeper.
the Gatekeeper. And they cannot get together. If they do, they open the portal for the end times.
Yes, and Gatekeeper and Keymaster, that is definitely not an innuendo.
No, nothing.
Even though they had to, never mind. He had to stick the key into the gate in order for the gate to open.
Yes.
But
okay.
That would,
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah. So, sorry, I just had to.
Oh, yeah. So just setting up the story, like, Lewis actually gets taken over after running. And one really funny scene is where he's talking to the horse. And he's like, "Are you the Gatekeeper?" Talking to the horse,
Yeah.
But he actually ends up in the possession of the Ghostbusters after the hospital wouldn't take him and the police department wouldn't take him. So the police drop possessed Lewis off of the Ghostbusters, which then they find out that he's the Keymaster and Zool is the Gatekeeper. And then that's when Finkman finds that out. So they're like, well, we can't get them together. And sure enough, the EPA gets involved. I can't remember his character, but I hated that guy. He was just a prick.
I did forget his name.
Yeah, it was
Anywho, yeah.
Yeah, so he comes in and
he's also the guy off of Die Hard. Bad guy off of that.
Oh no.
Guy. He's the news reporter guy that was just a bitch. Yeah.
Well, he fits the role. So.
Yeah.
So he comes in with the court order and basically all the hard work the Ghostbusters have put in by encasing these ghosts and anomalies in a laser grid. He comes in and basically shuts them off, and in that chaos ensues.
Yes, because everything they ever trapped is out, and they're haunting and scaring and freaking everybody out, and it opens up the door for Dana and Lewis, or Gatekeeper and Keymaster, Zool and Vince Clortho, to come together to help summon Gozer.
Yes.
Gozerian.
And you only get not even 5 minutes of her on the screen.
Not a whole lot, because the first half of the movie is just you kind of seeing how the Ghostbusters became Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Like the whole story of Gozer, you don't really know until about that time, because you know that her house is haunted. They just don't know, or not her building is kind of haunted. There's something that has to do with it, and then all of a sudden, the dogs come out and possess them, and while they're in jail, that's when they kind of put it all together. Hey, the building was what was that called? The architect that designed the building was a guy named Ivo Shandor.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, and he was a Gozer worshiper, so
So he put it in the specific spot.
Yes.
For it, and to circle back, the Ghostbusters are in jail because they violated a lot of EPA, Environmental Protection Agency's laws. And
yes, though if they really did, I don't think they would just go to just a random jail. But for movie sakes.
Yeah.
And then you had Carl Winslow was an officer there.
Oh, yeah. And I liked because when they're in the cell being processed, they start breaking out the maps, the star maps, and everything, and then everybody, all the criminals, get together and just start watching them, and it's funny. It's really funny to see these guys listen to a bunch of nerds talking about the stars.
Yeah, because they don't care, but hey, this is kind of interesting. They're talking about ghosts and
and then
spirits and.
What's the guy's what's the fourth guy, the walk-on? Winston. So he basically just denounces his Ghostbusters relationship, and he's like, I want out. I want my own lawyer because you're gonna go away for a long time. And then saving grace, the mayor wants to talk to him, and then the mayor basically bails him out.
Basically.
Yeah. So they go to the mayor's office and they're talking to the mayor about all these anomalies that's happening, and why they're happening in this radius more than the other radius, and it's a
Wrath of God type stuff.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah. And basically they're like biblical proportions, and they have. Was that a cardinal that was there, or was that a high priest in like the Catholic Church?
I think it was a cardinal. I think they called him cardinal.
Okay, because I think he dresses as a cardinal. So
yeah, because he was like the mayor's, like his, the person that he just goes to whenever he's just having issues.
So he comes in, basically tells them that the church doesn't want nothing to do with this. And so the mayor basically has to rely on the Ghostbusters. So then that's when the whole army gets. This is my question though. The military gets involved. Did they do martial law for the city, or?
So it was kind of I don't know if it was in a deleted scene or not. So when the mayor asks, what do you want from me? They basically ask, hey, we need an escort from police. It's probably the National Guard.
Okay.
And it was just an escort. They just escorted them so they can quickly and safely get there without being barraged, I guess.
God.
I don't really know what they expected the police and the military to do fighting a ghost.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
they were already kind of experienced now. They caught a lot of ghosts and
yeah.
But it was just a kind of a fun scene, I guess. To be able to, I think, to just have fun and having the police escort you.
And the Ecto that they're in has, in my opinion, has the most iconic siren you'll ever hear. You hear the sound and you automatically think Ghostbusters.
Yes. Yeah, you don't hear anything like it nowadays.
No. And it's iconic. So
the whole car it's my dream car. If I was a rich man, I would try to find myself a 1959 Cadillac Meteor Miller. I forgot what it's called. And make that up as
that'd be awesome.
But they're really hard to find because they didn't really make a whole lot of those. So, and they're from 1959, so a lot of those type of cars, it's really hard.
Yeah, can't find hardly a restored one. But yeah, I like that. That was cool. I love the car. It's perfect for that time period. It fit the Ghostbusters, like their theme.
Yeah, and originally, like the Ghostbusters, the Ectomobile was always going to be part of it, even in the original story. But originally, it was going to be like a character of its own, which it kind of is. But it would like be able to like disappear and reappear to like evade cops and stuff. And be able to go through dimensions and all that kind of stuff. And it was going to be black. And so when they were going to do the movie, the way they did it, they were going to have it black, which was the original color of the car. But the cinematographer is like, hey, in any night scenes, we can't see the car because the car is black.
Right.
So then they made it white. So I think I love that it's white.
Yeah, I love that it's white. And I love that how it comes back too in Afterlife as well.
Yeah, because if the whole car was black, like, yeah, you wouldn't really be able to see any of the features and all that kind of stuff, especially as a Cadillac.
Yeah, no, not
you you can't go too dark with a Cadillac. You know, white works good, especially for the Ghost logo is a white ghost on a red background. So it works.
It works, yeah. It works.
so they go up. I don't know how many flights of stairs because they can't take the elevator.
20 flights.
Was it 20 flights?
Yeah.
Like it was more than that.
No, 22 stories.
Well, then one more because they had to go up one more step of stairs to get to where
the top. Yeah.
And then that's where they witness Dana and Lewis becoming dogs.
Yeah.
And
then they successfully summon Gozer.
Who's this lady with the high top and bubbles all over her. I always thought they were bubbles. I don't know if they were bubbles or not. To me, it looked like a woman with just bubbles all over her.
Oh, yeah. She looked like, man, who does she look like? It's an artist.
I know who you're talking about. The bear, this person that sings Joan Jett? Not Joan Jett. Is it Joan Jett? No.
I can't remember the name.
Dagnabbit. Anywho, yeah. Kind of. Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
she
I think I know who you're talking
Yeah, she the guy would always have like that multicolored rainbow on his face.
about. Oh, you're talking about David
David Bowie.
Bowie. I guess I could see that too.
See that, yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of looks like that style.
Okay.
High
That's
top
80s.
skin.
Like you can tell it was 80s.
Yeah, oh yeah, you could definitely tell it's 80s. And you don't get very many screen time with her, but she's very powerful. And what does she say? What's one of her iconic line in the movie?
Are you a god?
What does Ray say? No.
He's like, no.
And
die.
Yeah.
And then Winston's like, Ray, when somebody asks you if you're God, you say yes.
Yes. And that actually is held up in the last movie too.
Yeah, where she asks the same question.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so they tried and trap her with their proton packs, and they turn up their. Now that part is called the neutrino wand, right?
Neutrino wand. Yes.
Neutrino wands. So they turn them up and they try to capture her, which will not work.
No, they aim for the flat top in it. I guess that wasn't.
Yeah. So
she just disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they thought, oh, that was easy. So, we had the tools, we had the talent, and it was Miller time. Oh yeah. So before that, though, she asked. Well, after she disappeared, she asked them to think of the form of or choose the form of the destructor. So who was going to destroy them? Because Gozer, this is not the first time. Like, she doesn't dominate the world. She just kind of destroys wherever she's summoned, and just takes them out, wipes them out. But she allows the people to choose who they want to destroy them.
Interesting.
So they try to clear their mind, said, don't think of anything, don't think of anything, don't think of anything. And then you hear, boom, boom.
And guess who's the one that thought of something?
It's
Ray. Yeah.
But this is kind of it's kind of hilarious though too, because you're thinking of, oh, big monsters come. It's like Godzilla or something really creepy, scary. It's gonna because it's gonna kill everybody, and then it's Stay Puffed Marshmallow. You get a big huge marshmallow going, man. Roar.
Yeah. And why did he think of it? Because it was harmless to him.
Yes. It's like, well, me and my dad used to roast marshmallows in Camp Wakanda or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That. And I guess he didn't think that, oh, maybe Gozer can make a really big version.
Mm-hmm. And it does. It comes down and sees them, and I love seeing that angry face on that Stay Puft guy.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, so he tries to scale the building, and they shoot him with their proton packs. Doesn't work at first. They have to think of something.
It does burn him a little bit, but it's not going to kill him.
No, wasn't.
So they thought they were going to get wiped out by Marshmallow.
Yeah, this was the end. Yep. This was the end. And then what's the brilliant plan they came together with?
Crossing the streams.
Ooh, didn't they say that they had to reverse the polarity or something like that?
No, that would be like a Doctor Who thing. But no, the crossing the streams would do something that basically would just eliminate, or just do something with reality. It could be something bad. That's all I can remember. But it could kill, like, crossing the streams could either kill everybody or save everybody.
Oh, okay. So they do. And what happens? They blow up the marshmallow guy.
Yeah, they blow up the Gozer's little thing first, and then the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man just explodes everywhere.
Everybody's covered in it.
Except for Venkman. He's only got a few splotches.
Yeah. How did he escape that, man?
I'm wondering if that's Bill Murray saying, hey, you slimed me earlier. You're not going to put all that crap on me this time.
Oh, that's right. He does. Yeah.
So it's like, put it on. Give it to everybody else. Just douse them with it. Don't put that crap on me. I think he's got like a little bit in his hair, a little on his shoulder.
Yeah. And so they defeat the Gozer, and they beat the marshmallow. as they're leaving, the demon dogs have become statues again.
Yes.
And so Finkman is actually sad because he actually liked that girl, and now he thought she was going to die.
Yes, Venkman thought she was dead because the dog is dead. She turned into the dog.
Right. And then what happens?
She's inside the dog, and she's not the dog.
She's not the dog anymore.
No. So her hand is like cracking through, and they try to save her. And then they notice that Lewis is also trying to get out of his dog skin.
He's like, I can't see none of that hair.
I can't see. He's got a big head. Dog head.
Yeah, I can't see. And so they basically pull them out of the carcasses of these stone dogs, and hit me with the line. Lewis says,
"Who does your taxes?"
Yeah, best line of the whole movie, man.
He was like, "It's like, what happened?" Well, you've been part of one of the biggest something of something. Felt great.
Yeah, it felt great. Yeah.
He was a dog.
Man,
it's a great, hilarious movie.
Very.
If you don't love Ghostbusters, then you can't love anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my favorite movie. I mean, nothing.
It's opened up a thing for me now, so I really loved it. Now that I'm, that I've rewatched it as an adult, I might have to go and actually rewatch the other ones too. I've already seen Afterlife, which I absolutely love that one.
The movie's great. And
so I kind of want to go back and see the women's version of it and the second one.
Yeah, so most Ghostbuster fans or people in general don't like the 2016 the female Ghostbusters, but I always enjoyed it.
Yes,
I've seen that several times when it came out, and I still see it from time to time. It's not it's not the same. Like, it's not supposed to be the same. But to me, it was different enough. People will say that it's not different enough. It was different enough for me, but enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Plus, I have a daughter who I want her to be like. I want her to like the stuff that I like. It doesn't work for everything. It works for Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, but she doesn't care about Ghostbusters. She doesn't care about Star Wars.
Oh.
But she did like that movie, and there was a sliver of hope because she liked it because it was all girls. She likes girl stuff,
right?
So
of course.
If it's a superhero team of all girls, or whatever, she's gonna like that more. And just with everything that's going on with Hasbro. Because the Ghostbuster license is like all over the place.
Right.
So it's not like Power Rangers, where Hasbro owns Power Rangers, so all the toys are through Hasbro, but Ghostbusters license are all over the place. Like, they had, Mattel was a big licensor years ago. Hasbro is still is a big one now because they do all the old Kenner stuff because Hasbro is Kenner. They bought out Kenner like in the 90s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So a lot of the Star Wars old Kenner re-releases and stuff, and then the Ghostbusters releases, it's Hasbro. But they got the new Ghostbuster line of figures from 1984 and from Ghostbusters Afterlife. So there's a few that I need, because I need the Kenner style of the kids from Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's been a while since I've seen those, but I couldn't afford it when I got those. But they're also supposed to have the kids in the normal 6-inch figure line, but I think I missed my chance to get those.
They also, there's a company called Mezco, and Mezco actually released a really awesome 4-pack of the 1984 Ghostbusters with working proton packs that are literally like 1.5 inches tall. You got to look those up. They're pretty pricey, but I love the set. Like, I saw one of my buddies with that was showcasing them. Articulation's crazy. They have like little zippers on their suits and everything. You got to look it up. Called from Mezco.
Mezco.
Yes.
Okay, I really need to look that up because I want
the proton packs light up on these.
These are like 6-inch figures.
Yeah, I think they're 7-inch figures, but they're fully fully articulated. Their head sculpts are amazing. Like, you could tell Ray, But definitely.
Hasbro is trying to do that because they have these ones coming out that I think they're like maybe 7 or 8 inch figures with cloth suits, but they look super cheap.
Oh,
so I'm not quite sure if I want to get those, but they might be a good size for my Ecto 1 because they don't make 1/8 scale size of Ghostbusters. You would think that Eagle Moss would, since they're doing the model, but no. I think the closest is Mattel several years ago came out with, I think, 1/6 size figures. Which went way good with there's a Blitzway 1/6 scale Ecto 1. That thing is huge. It's not a model kit, it's just all in one.
Right.
It's pieces. You got to put some of the pieces together because it's huge. And so I think those Mattel ones kind of worked with that, but there's not any that are the size for this build. So hopefully somebody will make some so I can have like Ghostbusters and my actual Ecto 1.
That'd be
that
awesome.
Would be super awesome.
Oh yeah.
Because I won't be done with this thing for another year, so I still got a long way to go.
Maybe you could find a place that does 3D printed heads, and we can put our own heads on the figures.
Ooh, that would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would be.
Yeah, like Ben and Billy, Ghostbusting.
But you, me, Jim, and whoever our fourth one was.
I would just say Mark. Mark fits.
Yeah, I would say Mark. Mark would be.
Fits that spot.
Yeah. So it would be would be the dad bod Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but dang, overall, I like the movie. I love talking about the toy lines too, because like there's a lot of things I didn't know about that and vice versa.
Still not enough.
Still not enough. So
Ghostbusters is not as big a line as a lot of the other stuff that Power Rangers.
Oh right.
So
of course, yes. But definitely gonna be rewatching some of these other movies.
Yes, because we will be doing one for the second movie.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I reached out to you about this because I was like sitting there, I was like, man, I want something to do. So I was like, let's do an episode and I'll watch Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what my next one would be because I knew I would do Ghostbusters eventually, but I just didn't know if I was going to do that, myself or find, because I don't know any other big Ghostbuster fans.
Right.
And just maybe connect with more of them on TikTok and stuff. But then when you did, I'm like, yeah, that's perfect timing. We can go ahead and do it. And then you got to learn a little bit, and you got to enjoy that childhood wonder.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. So it forces you to watch the movie.
Oh yeah. I had to do something. I get bored here and there, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna watch an old movie.
Yeah. No, it's a good one, and maybe we can keep this going on with the other 3.
Hey, say no more. I'll do it.
All right. Well, with that might be in a few weeks or a month or so. So
say no more.
Look out for that. Anybody who's listening,
yes,
or watching. So we are gonna take this to a close because we're getting close on an hour. I'm trying to get these a little bit shorter, but if we're enjoying our conversation, we're gonna keep it going. But so I want to give you an opportunity, Billy, to just kind of say what you're about. Zeo to Hero. What's that all about? Where they can find you. Not physically, because you don't want a whole lot of people at your door. But
no.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh man. So Zeo to Hero, based off a Power Rangers name. We kind of typically do a lot of Power Rangers lore, and we talk to fan creators of their fan created series, audio dramas, and some of them actually film in person. They're everything. So that's what we're about. We like to talk about from anything. We do everything: Power Rangers to anime to like movies and other stuff. It just depends on how we're feeling for that week, and we like to give everybody a voice, and that's what we're about. And you can find us on our website, zeotohero.com. Zeo to Hero all across the board for all our social medias like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are all over. You can catch our podcast wherever you find yours at, under Zeo to Hero. You can't miss the logo. It's an elephant head with the pyramid in it, because, our favorite character growing up was the Black Mastodon. So we kind of like threw it in there. Definitely shoot us a message if you like us. And if you ever want to find a contact Ben, you can go through us as well. We also do have a merch store that's open, and we're going to see how that works out with some test runs, and then we're going to fully open it to everybody. So definitely can get some shirts made with our logo. And thanks for letting me come on here and taking time out of your day to let me talk to you about Ghost and Ecto ones and Plasma.
Yes, not the blood type, but ecto type.
Ecto type. Oh, man.
Well, thank you for coming to our show. This is, what, your third time? Third time.
Yeah.
It is your third time. Is it your third time?
Uh-huh.
Second? Yeah, it is your third time. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I'm getting all confused. Yeah, so, yeah, it's always fun talking. And again, check out Zeo to Hero. Their podcast, wherever you find. Well, he already said all that. So,
yeah.
And I have a link to their Linktree. It's on the little scroll below if you're watching this on YouTube. But thank you again. Thank you everybody that's been watching and listening to us. This is our 8th episode now. We're up to like 154 listens and counting. So thank you for everybody that's been listening to us since the beginning to now to in the future. Thank you again. And this is a Power Ranger thing, but I will always end with this. As Zordon would say, may the power protect you.